minutes late. I had trouble with the audio. I don't know what's going on with my audio tonight. It was giving me the business. Yeah, I kept starting the stream and it kept going down. So, not cool, but I think I've got it straightened out. And let me get connected to the live stream here, and we'll get going. But I'll just take a second. Yeah, sorry about that. It just totally was not working. And the more I did, the less it worked. So try it again here. And it's giving me a hard time connecting with this as well. Let's see if we can't get in here this way. But we'll see if anybody's in. If everybody can hear me okay, just hit the like button and let me know that you can hear and see me okay. Appreciate you guys being patient. I don't know what was going on with the audio. I was getting nothing but feedback on that, and it's not letting me. Let me try and refresh this screen so I can read everything. If I can't, I can go on without it, but because we have that audio there. There we go. There we are. Yeah, so here we are. Cool. So yeah, so everybody who thought tonight was going to be shepherd's pie, that's my trick. But we are going to make a treat. We are going to make cream cheese stuffed pumpkin bread tonight, and we're going to be using the Lodge cast iron skull pan, which is in the oven currently right now heating up, but I have this one, and just on the backup, this is one that one of my daughters I got for her, and she has not yet picked up, or remembered to take with her, actually. She's been here, but she's never remembered to take it. And if I have to use this, it still has the tag on it. So if I have to use it, we're going to use this one as well. I've got the other one heating in the oven at 350 degrees. And there we are. So let's say hi to everybody. Let's see, we've got Handsome Stone. Let's go. Let's see, in Philly listening area, rest in peace. Pierre Robert, I don't know who that is. Big dead guy. Oh, okay. Yeah, man. We need all the dead heads we can get. Radagast, Pat Zeeb, Billy Lee, how are you? Good to see you. And I've missed some of the other folks that have been checking in. Rick, nice to see you. But yeah, so that's what we'll be using tonight. We'll be using the Lodge skull pan. If I've got to break this one out, we'll break that one out too. But like I said, it's trick or treat tonight, and that was my trick. We're going to be doing the shepherd's pie next Thursday. So be ready for that one. Let me move this out of the way and we'll get started. This is a recipe that I've never tried in these skull pans, but I have had great luck doing this. It's very simple. One thing about these pumpkin bread recipes is pumpkin bread recipes are all almost identical. They're almost all identical. Here's my recipe for pumpkin bread. This comes out great. There's not a whole lot of things that you don't have in your shelf that you can't do this with, except for the coconut oil. If you don't have coconut oil, and I've melted my coconut oil down, but if you don't have coconut oil, don't worry about it. You can use vegetable oil or any kind of like a grapeseed, whatever you have, it'll work. You can use butter. It doesn't make any difference. And then for the cream cheese filling there on the back, it's really basic. It's really super easy. And that's what we do. And we're just going to be layering that together. You can swirl it if you want. The options are crazy open with this. You can basically do an you can do whatever you want. Val, how are you feeling? Val's Black Cats Rules. Oh man, still not feeling great. That's too bad, hon. I feel bad for you. I really do. Sometimes it takes a while to kick something, you know. But anyway, that's a recipe. I'll throw that up again just in case anybody wants to screenshot these, because I am way too lazy to add the description down at the bottom. And we're gonna go ahead and get started on this right now. I'm thinking usually pumpkin loaf takes about 40 to 55 minutes to do. Since we're using this small cavity, I'm hoping that it doesn't take that long. And I'm not even really sure what we're gonna have left of it. So that's where we're at with that. But anyway, let me move this out of the way and throw this up here, and we're gonna get started. Toot sweet, as they say. But yeah, thanks everybody for showing up, and William Hurt, thank you, buddy, for coming in. Appreciate it. I had a friend of mine actually drop off some cast iron tonight for me to fix up for him, and that took a little bit longer. And then I had the last minute audio issues, so we're going to get started now. This should whip up fairly easy. Like I said, I've got the pan in there working. It's heating, and let's get into it. Let's see. Oh, Fuzzfork, hey, what's up, buddy? How are you? If the food stamp crisis continues into the next week, I'll start my new dumpster diving channel. Thank you so much. I know everybody will appreciate that. I know I will. I like anything frugal. And if you gotta dive, you gotta dive. We're gonna be using, I won't be using canned pumpkin tonight. I'll be using what's left of the white pumpkin. This is the last of it. And I did cook this down, so we'll throw that into the bottom. And we need a cup of that. I'm gonna get all my liquidy stuff toward the bottom. And I just about have exactly 1 cup left, which I'm pretty happy about. And that is out of the white pumpkin from all the posts and what we saw last weekend, and even for the folks that were here today who saw the waffles being made. Oh man, I almost got just, I'm gonna scrape that out of there, because that's like exactly 1 cup left. And which is nice when you have your own pumpkins laying around, that you have a plethora of pumpkin puree. But I will say, without a doubt, that the white pumpkin is a little wetter than the other pumpkin, like a normal, like the pie pumpkin we used, or the field pumpkin that we used in the other videos. It is a lot wetter than those pumpkins. The other one's a little drier, which I did cook that off. Greg Hart, what's up, buddy? Hope you made it home safe. We're gonna throw that in there. And I'm hoping that I can mix this all into this thing, kind of like I did the pumpkin pie the other day. And mix it all in this bowl, or in this 4-cup container. Because if I can, that's gonna be, as we said back in the day, rad. That's gonna be rad. I like that. Okay, and let me grab an egg out and get that down towards the bottom, because I'm gonna need that cup again. Susan Carson, how are you? Good to see you. Make sure to double tap the screen. Let's get back here to 100 likes. Man, that'd be cool. That would be super cool. That would be super cool. And sub, please. We are so close to 1,000. That so close to 1,000 that I can almost taste it. So there's 1 egg in there. But yeah, that 1,000 mark would be pretty, once again, rad to hit. So I'm thinking I can fit everything into this, but I've got bowls on the back just in case we can't. So we're gonna go right down the aisle here I do have my coconut oil that's over there melting on the stove top. So let me see, I think I need a half a cup of the brown sugar. Oh man, does that not fit in there? That's gonna bum me out. All right, well, we'll just get something to get it out of there. Easy peasy. If that's the worst thing that happens to me today, that I can't get the brown sugar out, then it'll be a pretty good day. So I'll put that cup over top of there. And we'll move this up to here. And I'm still loving that vacuum sealer that I vacuum sealed all my sugar with. Just keeping it nice and moist. If you guys don't have a vacuum sealer, I would highly suggest getting one. So there's that. Get that out of the way. And then we're going to go down to a 1/4 cup of granulated sugar. Now I'm using raw sugar, not the regular white sugar. So that if you do use raw sugar, it is going to be just a little bit more granulated. Raw sugar is kind of the white pepper of the sugar world. It stays a little more granulated. So there's that. And just a little bit for good measure. And then I'm going to do the 1/4 of a cup of coconut oil. But I'm going to let that kind of hang out for a minute and let that kind of cool down. And let that hang off to the side. That's going to be fun. Try and put in there. Okay, so we got that. And then we're going to do, actually I'm going to put it in there because I need the 1/4 cup. So there's that. We've got our 1/4 cup. And then I'm going to use a 1/4 cup of sour cream. You can use yogurt, plain yogurt, if you don't have sour cream. But I've got some sour cream that I'm wanting to get rid of. So we're going to use that right now. Mix the sour cream up just a little bit. And I should have just about a 1/4 cup left of the sour cream. Like I said, you can use yogurt if you have that instead. There are some options. Okay. Get you guys a little more, sorry, you guys are kind of back there a little bit. There we go. So let's get that 1/4 cup there. Kind of spoon this in. I'm hoping I have a 1/4 cup left of the sour cream, because I am wanting to get rid of this. This is like the bottom of the thing, bottom of the container. There we go. Oh man, I might just have just enough, just about a 1/4 cup. Yep. 1/4 cup, almost on the dot. So get that in there. There we go. Check. Hey, Rich, what's going on, buddy? Good to see you. All the way from the other side of the pond. Sour cream is some good stuff. And I used exact, man, I'm on a streak here. I'm on a streak. This stuff is, it's almost coming together too nicely. Let's see, and then we're gonna get 2 teaspoons of vanilla. I might have to open this one. I think we ran out of vanilla the other day, I'm gonna do the 2 teaspoons of cinnamon first. Which I'm going to do right now. 2 teaspoons of cinnamon. because I don't want the cinnamon to all stick if I use this teaspoon again for the, there we go. And I'll do the, yeah, that's coming together nice. Well, that's gonna be, man, that smells so good already. Once I get to this vanilla, this is gonna smell so good. So then 2 teaspoons of vanilla will help get the cinnamon off that cinnamon off that teaspoon. That over there. Then I'm going to do a half a teaspoon of, I think this is my half teaspoon. We'll need to, yeah, there's my half teaspoon. So a half teaspoon of baking soda. Yeah, like I said, this is the trick or treat version of cast iron IRL, where we, the trick was we were having shepherd's pie, but actually I'm making a treat. So there's a half a teaspoon of baking soda, and then we're gonna do, what happened to my cup? Where's my cup? And then here's my cup, and then we'll do 1 cup of all-purpose flour. And I think I've got everything in there. That's gonna be our bread. And you can look up all the bread recipes you want if you online, and they're always gonna come back to basically that much. This recipe. There we go. Get out another spatula. Scrape that out. Got the jazz music in the background. There we go. All right. I'll be able to check the comments. So we've got that part. And we're going to mix that up. Oh, Bob the Builder's here. Oh man, everybody's here tonight. That's awesome. That is so cool. Everybody has made it. Kinds of folks have made it tonight. Just really stoked about that. I love it when the usual suspects show up. So get that over there, and then we'll break out the mixer. And hopefully I can do this in this glass container. If I can't, then I'll just get. Oh yeah, Dubs isn't here. 100%. You're exactly right about that. Old man with a pan. Yeah, you are slightly unusual, but in a good way. I dig it. So let's get this in there and see if this works. If not, I'll just hand mix it. If I don't just drop it on the floor. Yeah, maybe not. That might be a little too stiff for that. That's okay. We'll get a pan. We'll get a bowl. We've got tons of bowls, so you can always move everything over to a bowl. Like I said, that's the worst thing that happened. I'd rather move to a bowl than move to the beagle eating this off the floor. And we'll move it over there. And we'll just dig this out of there. Not a big thing. It was a little too much for that little area. And we can get a whisk. I mean, it's just pumpkin bread dough. We want to make sure we get all the goodness out of there, though. It was a valiant effort, but in the end, didn't quite make it. But we'll get that, and we'll mix that, and then we'll use the hand mixer for that. And whatever doesn't do that, I've got about a half a dozen whisks that we can use. I'll take that. Okay. That'll be all right. Alma Perez, how are you, Alma? Good to see you. Thank you for stopping by. And there a bunch of ingredients. Yeah, it's not too bad. The one thing that I dig on with pumpkin bread is that there isn't a lot of flour in it. There is a lot of sugar, so you got that carb thing going with that. But overall, like, it's not real floury, which is nice. So we'll see if we can't mix it up with this and at least get this stuff off the mixer. If I gotta break out the whisk. There we go. Because I really hate getting out the KitchenAid and doing stuff on here. It really is, it really gets in the way. And I'd rather just have this little crank mixer that gets everything going in there. It's kind of old school and it kind of, you know, is what it is, but it's nice that it doesn't take up much space. And it does the job. And it gives my shoulder a little workout. Let's kind of mix that around a little bit. But it's mixing really well. I'm digging that. Let's see. I like the mixer PTA and clean them. Yeah, it's really not. I just put it in that same cup and put it in some soapy water, and it's clean. It cleans up pretty nice. I'm really happy with this thing. It's like it was a good $20 investment for the kitchen, I can tell you that. Definitely a good $20. It's just, I wouldn't suggest licking this one. This one's not a good one to lick. You don't want to lick these beaters. That's for sure. Yeah, we're there. There we go. All right. I like that batter. Make sure I don't have any clumps in the inside of it. And I'm just going to run that, kind of scrape that down a little bit. It's kind of be, I wish you can just kind of fling this stuff on the side a little bit. And I don't mind making a mess. I do not mind making a mess. Clean those off. All right, but we don't have to be too finicky about it. Anyway, so that part's done. So we've got the batter mixed up. Now we got to do the cream cheese part. So I scrape down this bowl right quick. And I'm going to check the comment section. I haven't been reading much of the comments. And getting everybody to hit the subscribe button and hit the like button. That would be great. We've been this channel, we've been killing it with that. Killing it with the subscriptions and killing it with the likes. All-time highs this month. It's been amazing. Okay, so anyway, so there's that. Make sure I didn't forget anything. I've got everything that I think I need in there. Baking soda, all-purpose flour. Yeah, I think so. I think we're set. It just looks really small. If I had more puree out of the freezer, we would double this. Okay. I said, make sure we didn't forget anything, because occasionally I will forget something. But it seems like everything's there. Okay, so everything's there. Let's go to the cream cheese part of this. Cream cheese part of tonight. But we do have cream cheese to fill the voids. So let's go with that. What did I do here? Let's put that over there. Let me get my cream cheese out. Bob the Builder. I ain't done. I think I'm caught up now. Oh, okay, good. All right, cool. So then for the filling, like I said, we're gonna do an egg, a brick of cream cheese, 1/4 cup sugar. I'm gonna drop a little bit of vanilla into this. I'm gonna do 1 teaspoon of vanilla into it, and I'm also gonna do, it doesn't call for that in the recipe, but when I've done this before, when I just made a loaf of the bread, then I did put some pumpkin spice in there. So we're gonna put some pumpkin spice in there just to keep it sort of Halloweenish. Let's see here. Let's get our 1/4 cup of sugar into there, and I'm just gonna use those same mixers. I'm not gonna get too picky with it. And our sugar into there. There you go. Now I'm done with all the sugar, so that's good. The only challenge that I see really in this particular endeavor that I didn't have trouble with when I did the bread like that is getting the cream cheese to spread in the center. So I think I'm just going to do dollops and then drop it on there. Like I'll drop it on there and kind of flatten it out a little bit, and we'll see how that works. But you can also, if you want, there's another good option with this, is you can swirl it and it'll come out as well. So I just didn't want to try and swirl it into this because I don't want it to burn on the bottom, because we're doing a preheated, we're using preheated cast iron. Let's see, I feel you need 2 though. Well, it's funny that you say that, Handsome Stone, because I just happen to have 2 of these. I've got one in the oven and I got one right here. I got 2 of them. I've come prepared for school. And then we're gonna drop, so we got a 1/4 cup of that. We got that. We're gonna do 3 tablespoons of flour. Three tablespoons of flour. There we go. And then we'll drop our egg into that, and we will be in business, as they say. Oh, that's a piece of that. Yeah, batter's good. I could just eat the batter. That's like something you want to just mix into like vanilla ice cream, and that would be pretty banging. And I'm hoping that this one more egg. Get one more egg out, and I will show the filling one more time. I'll show the filling recipe once again. So we've got 1 egg, 1 brick of cream cheese, 1/4 cup sugar, and 3 tablespoons of flour. So there we go. Get our egg into there, and I don't want to forget to put the pumpkin pie spice in there, because that's in hardly any of the recipes, but it's the way I do it. So we're gonna get that going, and I'm gonna mix that up, and then I'm gonna put the pumpkin pie spice in there. So let me kind of break that down a little bit. Break these into some chunks. There we go. I've had this cream cheese out for about 2 hours, but my kitchen, when I woke up this morning, it was 58 degrees in my kitchen. Now it's about, what do we got? I'm at 69 degrees right now in here. And I will show you guys this. Anybody that watched earlier today, they watched the sourdough starter when I fed that today. That's went from there to right there. That is bubbling nice. And this one, this is usually in a smaller half-pint container, but if you can see the bubbles in there, that is going to make some excellent bagels tomorrow. I cannot wait to try my bagels out for the first time. That's going to be a bomb. That's going to be bomb. Going to do some everything bagels tomorrow, but it takes. That's unfortunately one of those things I can't really do live because it honestly takes about 20 hours to make it. So we'll throw a little pumpkin pie spice on there and get that into the mix because it's not pumpkin and it's not seasonal unless it's got the pumpkin pie spice in it. That worked into there. Might end up putting this in a bag and piping it in, because when I did this in bread, I had, you know, the 9-inch cake pan to do it in, so I just dolloped it on there and then put it in. But if I can't do that, I'm going to throw this into a plastic bag and cut the edge of it off and go that route. And just a smidge of black pepper to make that pop. Let's see, what do you do with all of this food? I either freeze it, a lot of times I freeze it, or I eat it, or I give it to my neighbors. My neighbors eat very well. I used to have, you know, up until a couple of months ago, I had kids that lived here. Now not so much. But yeah, that's what I do with it. I usually just let people have it, or I throw it into the freezer. So, and the black pepper, the reason I put the black pepper in, for people that are new to the channel, I put the black pepper in with the pumpkin spice or anything like that to make the rest of the stuff pop. It gives it a little bit of pop. There we go. And then I'm going to hit that with the mixer again. And I'm not worried about the little bit of cake mix that's on there. That doesn't bother me at all because it's going to be in there with the cake anyway. So I'm not going to be too particular about that. There we go. Set that off to the side again, and this off to the side. And then we'll break out the mixer again and give this a mixing. And fluff this up a little bit. All that down into there and get that creamy. So I want it to be able to be spreadable, to say the least. So I don't want to just mix it with the spatula. I want this to be really, really spreadable. Let's check out what's going on in the comment section. Rocky Caver, what's going on, buddy? Good to see you. There we go. Let that kind of fling off a little bit. Yeah. Don't like these batters though. You get hurt. Let's see, let me get the spatula and we'll kind of scrape a little bit of that off. And then we're kind of, be all right. You're doing okay. And like I said, I don't mind if the cake mix is in there with it. That's not going to bother anything because it's going to be poured over that cake anyway. So they're going to kind of meld together. And like I said, if you want to swirl it, swirl it. If you want to do it in cake pan, it's definitely swirlable. And that does come out really good. There we go. Boy, it'd be a shame not to lick these beaters. But I'm not going to. Bad move. That's a bad move right there. Let's see if we can't get that one side up there. It's got all that stuck on it. But sometimes you just gotta let it go. You know what I mean? Sometimes you just gotta let it go. Let's see. HB, can you hold up the cream cheese cardigan? I need to screenshot. Yeah, I absolutely can, man. Absolutely can. Can you see that okay? And try and get it down to a... Sometimes if you hit to take the comments off, that works too. That works better. Try and pull out. I'll just take it down just a little bit. And I use the pumpkin spice. I just sprinkled it over the top. I don't have an exact measurement, but just sprinkling it over the top kind of makes it does do okay. So hopefully, all right. Hopefully that got you what you needed to get. That would be my next move. Let me see. Let me go to my other. Let's go to the computer. I missed what your next move would be, Scotty. Let's see. Really? Okay, I'm trying to just go back. Let's see. How much black pepper? Just a little bit. I just sprinkled it over the top. You know, some of those things, like for this, there's no recipe for that, for like on the recipes that I've ever seen. And you know me, I do like minimal amounts of research, so I just sprinkle it over the top, and that seems to, and if you can check it out, you can see that it kind of like added that little bit of that orangey look, sort of like a pumpkin roll kind of thing. So I would imagine that, and the yellow of the egg yolk, that worked out a little bit too. So there's that. Well, I'm gonna move this stuff off to the side, and then we're gonna grease that pan up. I'm gonna put my hopefully this is, I might have to end up actually moving the cutting board and go to something else, but we'll see what happens. Oh, let me go back. Sorry, I gotta go back there. On good days, Mom, turn the mixer off first. Yeah, that is always a good day. I think I am going to move this cutting board out of the way. I'll clean that up here a little bit. I'll knock the stuff off of that and grab another trivet. Because that's one thing about the skull pan, is that, in all honesty, it's kind of hard to set on things. It kind of does what it wants, just because of all the different divots and curvatures to it. So we'll get that. And these are about the same size, so I do need to get a big trivet. I do need to invest in a big trivet. There we go. And then there's this. And let me grab some oven mitts. Well, I made them. You know, and this isn't really that big of a mess. It's kind of an easy dessert, especially when you do it in the loaf pan. But I'm trying to kind of cut the time down, and I wanted to do it in the skull pan, so we got that going. And I'm thinking that it's still going to take probably a good 30 minutes for this to do its thing, which is why we might have to break out the other skull pan. But yeah, I heated this one up. It seems like in the past I've kind of done these where I didn't heat the pans up, and it didn't work out that great. So this has been sitting in there, I don't know what time it is. So it's been sitting in there almost a little over about 50 minutes. I put it in there about 5 minutes before I started the stream. And so we'll get some spray into this. and a brush to brush it around. And I should be about out of this. I should be finishing up this spray as well. So there we go. And we'll brush those around. Because it's really, on these things, surprisingly everything cooks out of the teeth and those kind of things, but it's the edges that I have the hardest time with this thing. I have to make sure I get all up around the outside corners. And I'll go over it once, and I'll go over it twice. I'm actually going to go over this twice to get everything in there. But yeah, everything, like, it seems like with the teeth part of it and the nose and all that, and the eye inserts, that it doesn't stick to that part. It's the edges. So I'll make sure I got the edges really well. And I didn't skimp on the oil either. Usually I skimp on the oil, but I did not this time. Because I've never done it in this. I've always done it in the Lodge. And I've always done it in Lodge loaf pans. The, what are the 9x11s? I think that's the size of those. The smaller ones. I don't have one of the bigger Lodge ones. And I think, or I know for a fact, I gave the other loaf pan that I had away to Rick, who won our very first trivia giveaway back about 6 months ago. Do that a couple times, make sure that that's all in there. Check the comment section, see what everybody's talking about. We have that skull pan too, lots of fun. Yeah, man, I really couldn't not do one last thing. I've done a lot of pumpkin stuff the last 2 weeks, but I couldn't not do one more pumpkin thing and not use this on Halloween. It was almost blasphemous to not do something with this pan. And if I have to use it, I'll use the other pan too. Or we'll just break out a number 3, heat it up, and we'll put that stuff in there. But we'll see. But I will really want to make sure I get this good. And I don't want to add much more oil because I don't like to deep fry my baked goods. Because sometimes, a lot of times, like especially bunt pans and things like that, you're almost deep frying your stuff. And I don't want to do that, but I'll do what I got to do to make this work. So anyway, let's put a little bit of this. I'm going to spoon this in, I think, because this batter is really thick. That is one thing about this batter, is it's super, super thick. So we'll spoon in. Spoon that in. I'll fix that here in a second. Enough to cover the bottom that's my thinking. Enough to cover the bottoms, but I gotta reserve some for the top. So if I don't, this might take all of it. Like I said, this is a big experimentations, as they say in the scientific world. It's a big experimentations. And I think that's experimentations. I think that's the actual scientific Latin word for this. Take some of that out. I don't think I need all that in that one. And I keep hitting that spot. Man, that batter's good. And I don't mean just kind of good. That batter is really good. Really good. That's delicious. It's almost like, it tastes like a cinnamon roll. Move that one down there a little bit more. Move that down, just a touch. And then we'll drop this in there. Push that down into there. There we go. But if I would have had more pumpkin out, I would have doubled this up. I honestly would have doubled this up because I could see using a lot more of this. I'm gonna push all that down into there. Push that down into the bottom. And then we'll see how much we have left. Because this makes a 9 by, like a regular loaf pan. That's what this makes. And it spreads out really nice. There we go. Dip that down into the, and like I said, you can swirl this if you want. You can swirl these, you can do whatever, and you won't have any issues with the swirl. Okay, and then we'll put a light layer on top of that. Just a little bit. There we go. There we are. And I'll go back and hit that one right here in a minute. This is where I wish I had a number 2 pan. A number 2 would be great for this. That's going to cover it. I think that's going to cover it. We might be with that. Then maybe we'll get out of number 3 and we'll swirl it all together. But I don't think there's going to be, that's all I have left. So I don't think there's going to be much more of that. There we go. Oh, I might just eat that. To be really transparent, I might just eat it. There we go. Okay. There we go. I like that. Check the comment section, see what we got going on here. Yeah, man, that seems to be the thing, like this, with this skull pan, it seems to be that that's like you get 4 cavities, like with an average deal, like an average cake mix. And I still have like this much left, which I wouldn't have if I made the regular bread, but we're gonna throw that in there and we're gonna go from there. I got foil down in there. And that's what we're gonna do. See what happens. I'm gonna scrape that one side down just a little bit. Kind of put that over. I've kind of overfilled that one. Man, that batter is good. That batter is super good. Okay, let me grab my oven mitts. And we'll throw that in there. Wipe my hands off. Got a little batter on the side. And we're gonna hope for the best. See what happens. Oh. And away we go. All right. Let's see. I would probably triple up that rest. Yeah, man. Like I said, I made this for a loaf pan, and I could put a lot more of the center into it, but that is what it is. So that's that's what we got going on. So I'm gonna take this, and I'm gonna put that into a container and save it because I am completely out of, you guys can see the bowl. And I'll show you the, kind of swing it over here just a little bit. But that's it on the bowl. It's completely dried up. So, it is what it is as far as that goes. And so I'm gonna get a container, and I'm gonna have to figure out something to do with the rest of that. But because I usually don't, like I said, I usually don't have anything left over because I just spread it onto a loaf. But there isn't any way on the planet that I'm not going to use that skull pan. I'm not going to use that skull pan tonight. So let's set the timer on that. I'm going to set it for 25 minutes, which I don't think that's going to be enough, but we'll see what happens. And the thing of it is, with this recipe, even in the loaf pan, you're still, you can't do the what do you call it? The toothpick test. You can't do that. It does not work because you're going to get the cream cheese, so it's always going to come back dirty. So that's what we're looking at. So it might be the night that Badger comes on camera and does a little Q&A. Because this didn't work out the way it didn't work out as far as the time-wise as I thought it would. But I thought it would make a lot more of the fill a lot more of the cavities, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So it's just stunning where I'm at. Are you gonna lick the bowl at least? Dan, I was hoping you would lick the bowl. I saved you that. You can use this. You can lick that. You can use it to kind of dig that out. Plus, there's a little bit of that batter left. This is where, man, I wish my that number one. Wonder if I could get that dieter skillet full. That'd be kind of fun. Let me see if I got there's my dieter skillet. The dieter pan. Let's see if we can't. I wonder if there's enough in there. I mean, what the hell? Then we can swirl it in there. The dieter skillet. And fill that up. I'm gonna try it. Because I think if I scrape it down enough, let me throw that in there and heat it up. Let me heat that pan up. So I think we can probably scrape about enough of that in there and put it in that dieter skillet. Let's see. Read the comment section here. Hey, MS. MS Palmer, William Hurt. Do you not know what a trivet is? What? Let me see if those work. Billy Orphan Iron found one recently. Found what? I missed that one. I totally bricked on that. Let's see, Old Man in the Pan. It's got egg. You'll get the salmonella. Man, if I do, I'm gonna be really mad. If I get salmonella, I'm gonna be super mad. But I'm hoping the beer kills that. And really, how does your body fight something off if it never sees it? You know what I mean? I don't think I can build up an immunity to salmonella if my body never sees salmonella. Let's see. I ought to have almost 8 of them. Okay. Let's see, Fuzz, that could be where I saw it. I'll look at his videos later. Beer makes everything better. It really does. I'll wait and pick the crunchies from the pan. Yeah, that's 100%. I would 100% agree with you on that. But let me see if I can't scrape up enough to put, I don't know if I can, because in all honesty, I mean, I scraped this pan pretty well, but I'm not above scraping some more and seeing if we can't get enough to fill up that skillet. And I think that we can at least swirl one. I mean, I've screwed stuff up on this channel before in front of lots of people. I'm not above screwing up one more time. I'm not above it. And this would be actually even a good time to clean these off and get some more of that into there, because we're going to do the swirl. This is really, I'm really digging on this one. I mean, I'm really kind of grasping at straws, but I mean, I really am, but we'll see what we'll see what happens. All right. And I have absolutely no more pumpkin puree left that's thawed out. I have 3 huge bags of pumpkin puree in the freezer. And if I crack open another pumpkin this year, it'll be way too soon. Let's see, put that together. We'll give that a whip. There we go. Get this out of there. That might be enough for that little teeny skillet. I know this seems like reaching, and I am reaching. I really am. But I still have to add the cream cheese into it. Maybe. And then we'll dip just a little bit of that cream cheese into there. About the same amount. That into there. That filling is really good though. Man, I could just sit down and eat the filling. Which pairs really well with the beer, oddly enough. I don't know why that is, but it does. MS Palmer, I recently found a book on trips posted on my channel. Yes, you did. And I'm still trying to find all the lodge trivets. The lodge trivets, was it 535 through 547? They're marked on the bottom, and that's how you know you have those 60s lodge trivets. So I think that's probably been sitting in there long enough. But I will give it long enough. I will give it long enough to where I can go grab another beer. Oh, and kick over and catch my shoelace on the edge of the stand. Post on my channel, Stealth Mercy. Right? And if it gets down to it, we've always got the Beegs and Tricks. So we've got that going for us, which is nice. Okay, so here we go. Get this pan out of the way for just a second. I guess we didn't need that second lodge pan, that's for sure. But I'm actually kind of disappointed that it didn't make for 2. I thought I'd have a lot more in there. But I guess when you're doubling and layering it, then that's what could happen. And I still got this coconut oil sitting here, so I won't have to use any more of the baking spray. We'll see how much that actually puts into that. I don't think it's going to put that much into it, but we'll see. Grab my oven mitts. That little pan shouldn't take very long to heat up. There we go. That thing is ridiculous. That thing is just ridiculously small. You might see what it says, the dieter skillet in there. There you go. Okay, so got that over there. We'll put just a little bit of this coconut oil into this. We had left over from the batter. And kind of swash that around. I don't think that's anywhere gonna near be what we need, but, ooh, that's hot. That did get hot. But it should be enough. It'll make something. It'll make something. That's all that matters. Just as long as it makes something. Okay, move that out of the way. And then we'll spoon this into there. Spoon that in. That actually might make a little something in here. We'll scrape that off. There we go. And there's my little spatula. Almost lost some. And I'm trying to get as much as humanly possible. Can you guys see that okay? Yeah. This might be the one that works out really well. And that pan got really hot. Yeah, can you guys see that all right? I actually made enough to put in there. How fun is that? Happy Halloween, trick or treat. Trick or treat. Drop a little pumpkin pie spice on top of that. There we go. Excellent. And we'll throw that in the oven. Yeah, I'm pretty down for that. Look at that. You guys get a good look at that? That I think actually, that's gonna make a little mini pie. Or a little mini cake. Swirl edition. And I will, where are my toothpicks? Let me get a toothpick and I'll swirl that around in there. And we should be good. Add a little swirl. So all that cream cheese gets into there. All right, we're in business with our mini one. What happened to my music? Let me get my music going again. That was the thing. That's the thing that was messing up to begin with, was all the audio on everything. I was getting feedback. There we go. For some reason it paused. All right. You can put that in one of those Betty Crocker toys. You could. It's that small. Because I have here, I'll even show you this. Because I have a number one skillet right here. I've got a pick with favorite number one. And that is way smaller than the pick with favorite number one. And that's the smallest skillet, the usable skillet that I have. So yeah, you can compare the two. That pick with number one is way smaller. And we still have, I don't know, we'll see if it's how these are baking up. And I'll slide that. This pan is so small that I'm trying not to slide it in between the rack grates. And then so it doesn't fall off. Oh yeah. That is going really well. Make myself some space here. There we go. And put my filling in right. And some of this other stuff, since I've got a few minutes. And we can read the yeah, man, it's basically an ashtray skillet. I mean, it's 100% like an ashtray. I bet if I do have one ashtray skillet out in the garage, but I leave it out there for people to actually use as an ashtray. So I'd go get it, but it's probably got stuff in it. Although I don't smoke, but I have people, you know, I always leave stuff out there for people. It's in the garage, it doesn't hurt anything. And I will put this recipe up there one more time while we're waiting. So there's the recipe again. if you can see that for the pumpkin bread. And I mean, without a doubt, if you want to do that in your skull pans, because it seems like so many people in here have these skull pans. So if you want to do it, double it up, and don't double up your, if you're going to do it in the skull pan, just don't double up the amount of cream cheese, the cream cheese filling. So we learned, you know, kind of like a lot of things, kind of like Fat Albert. We all learned a little something today, and that's what we learned. But that's the recipe for that. And then the filling is this, and that's what we learned on this one. So there we go, there's that. Let's see, I have a Wagner that I think is a number 1, no size. William, if you send it to me, you send me a picture of it and send it to my email that's located in the bio, then I can maybe help you identify it. I don't know a lot about you know, some brands like BSR, things like that, but Wagner's kind of in my wheelhouse, so I might be able to help you do that. Where did I get the skull pan? Where did I get the skull pan? I ordered that from Lodge, because I ordered 4 of them when they first came out, because I didn't know how long that run they would do that run. So I bought 4 of them, and I bought one for me, one for a friend of mine that's into cast iron, and then as a gift, and then because he'd given me a pretty nice pan that I still have, and then I got one for my middle daughter who keeps forgetting to take this one, which is partially my fault too. And then Ming has one. So yeah, I bought 4 of them all together, and they weren't much. I think they were like $30, if that. And they kind of went with the Day of the Dead skillets is where that actually went. Amazon, Cracker Barrel, Lodge. Yeah, I think if you go to, actually, Dan, since I know where you're located, I think if you go to the Cracker Barrel there in Eastgate, I think they have them. So yeah, you can definitely get one. I think you can get one there. Oh, on the Lodge website, $29.99. Okay, cool, very cool. Yeah, that whole Day of the Dead. I don't have the round griddle, which I'd like to get, but that whole series is not expensive. I mean, that's actually, I've got the Day of the Dead skillet, and then I have these, and I got one of the griddles for Ming, but I don't know if she took that back or if it's actually in the rack, because I will tell you guys this, here pretty soon we're going to be how do I want to say it? We're going to be setting up the Lodge rack out in the garage, because I'm going to make room for all the vintage for on the rack, and that's what we're going to be doing. Oh, there's that beagle. There's that beagle. And she's feeling frisky. She's ready to do some tricks. But since we got some time to kill, we have the star of the show. There she is, in her ugly sweater. Aren't you? You're wearing your ugly sweater. How fun is that? And we've got to finish up our liver treats before I go to the butcher shop tomorrow and get you some more liver treats. So let's do some spinning. Let's do some tricks. There she is. There's the beagle. And she's in her sweater. I tried to take her, it's warmed up in here, and right about 7:30, I tried to take her sweater off of her, and this dog loves wearing clothes. She absolutely loves wearing clothes. When she was really little, she had a harness. When I got her, she had a harness. It was like super teeny, because she was like 5 pounds when I got her. She was so small. And she wore this silly harness everywhere she went. You know the drill, don't you? Give me a spin. There you go. There you go, big girl. There you go. She wants to be a circus dog. The Beegs, yeah, the Beegs is up. Can you sit? Can you speak? Give me a big, there you go. Big speaks. All right. Love the big speak. MAGA Mom, yeah, she's something else. She is a whiz. Can you shake? Thank you. Very nice. Have a little treat. But I got to go to the butcher shop. She gets liver. My butcher shop actually has sliced liver that's frozen and like jerky, and that's what they have for dog treats down there. And she loves these things. Let's see. Down. Sit back there. I'll do a spin. We'll get you out of back there because you're kind of close. I know you don't want to get down because you're close to the camera. And everybody can see there that we've been tracking grass in the house. It's raining here. It's been raining and blustery all day. Down, down, down. Down, down. Down, 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 down. Can you do it? There you go. Thank you. Okay, sit please. There you go. And give me a speak. Just give me a good one. A good one. There you go. Good job. Good job. And maybe another spin. And she won't spin until she sees this treat every time. She's a wee bit spoiled. She is a wee bit spoiled, but that's okay. It's better than not being. There you go. Good job. I'm trying to think what other tricks she does. She does a bunch, but it's hard to do some of them because like some of them are like with the ball, and it's hard to do the ball ones on this because we're in kind of a tight space. Yeah, she's a brindle, which is really rare for a rat terrier. Usually rat terriers are black or brown, but she's a brindle, and they don't even it's such a rare thing for these dogs to be brindle that they won't register her as a purebred, even though she is. Can you speak? Speak? Yeah, I'll take even the little one. I'll even take the little one. Yeah, she's a sweetie. And she's been feeling better. Little tail's wagging. She gets mad when I whack. She gets mad when I do that when she's wagging her tail. She acts like I'm not there. It for some reason makes her mad. Can I get a spin, kid? Give me a spin. There you go. There you go. Good job. Yeah, she's something else. She is a good dog. She's really, it sucks because she's really bad around people. Like she just loses her mind because she's just she's too much for a lot of people. Like a lot of times when people come, I have to put her away because she doesn't bite or anything. She just wants so much attention, and she jumps and she scratches. And these dogs, a lot of people, they're really small, but she's 20 pounds of pure muscle. She's not the toughest dog on the block by any stretch of the imagination, but she's really strong and they're really durable. They're farm animals, you know, they're hunting dogs, and she just doesn't know when to quit. Give me a spin, kid. There you go. All right, nice. We got about 3 minutes until our stuff might be done. I'll spin if you give me pieces of the pumpkin bread. You can absolutely, I'll tell you what, you don't even have to do a spin Radagast. I'd be glad to give you some of my pumpkin bread. Music brings back great memories. I love these channels. I love these music channels. You know, you could just plug them in and just listen to it, and I like it because I don't have to change the channel. Because like when I listen to the radio, sometimes I have to, you know, there's a song on there you don't like, and you know, sit, there you go. There's songs you don't like, and then you end up changing the channel. But when you play like this stuff, it's just kind of vibe music. It's just kind of back. How old is she? She is, she'll be 2 on St. Patrick's Day. Her birthday is St. Patrick's Day. Can you speak? I got a treat. Can you speak? Speak. There you go. Good job. Oh. Yeah, we're down to the bottom of the bag, but that's tomorrow. But I buy these bags in like 3-pound bags. My butcher shop is so awesome. Okay, sit. And why don't you give me one more shake? Can you shake? Thank you. You're doing great. There you go. Yep. And then here in a second, I'll just pour out what's in the bag. Let her soft warm. She's a little cozy. She is cozy. And it's funny, like 11 o'clock, she's ready to go to bed. And she like sits there. She sits there by the bed, like the bedroom door. And she has a sleeping bag. She doesn't like her dog bed, but she likes this sleeping bag that I left out after we went camping last year. And so she sleeps on her, she likes that, the sleeping bag. It's all folded up. And she buries herself in the middle of it. And that's where she, at bedtime, that's where she goes to bed. Sometimes I wake up and she's like, she'll weasel her way under the covers, but usually that's where she goes. She just waits for me to go back there. It's kind of nice because I really don't like her sleeping in there. Can you speak? Speak one more time. Speak. 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 Or just spin. And we'll do one or the other. Doesn't matter. All right. Since that's kind of the end of the bag, I'm gonna put the rest of that in her bowl here in a little bit. Yeah. We'll just put that in the bowl. And then you can have it here. Come over here and get your stuff. You didn't eat your dinner anyway. Probably because you were all full of bacon. She had bacon. She had bacon about 2 o'clock. She had bacon for breakfast, and then she had some more bacon. Yeah, she has her sweater. She has another one that has hearts on it that matches one of my daughters. My daughter last year at Christmas time made. She had these sweaters made. And I don't know where she got it, off Etsy or something. But anyway, the sweater, her and my daughter have matching heart sweaters. It's hilarious. And they're like identical. And I got a picture of her, and I'll put it up. I'll put the picture up in the community post of her wearing the sweater, because this dog has the biggest smile on her face wearing I regress super spoiled. Yeah, she's crazy spoiled, man. Yeah, well, I do take it and wash it. I do take it down to the, because it's a big, like, it's a really big, like, one of the negative like 30 down-filled ones. So I have to take it to the, I can't wash it in my washer and dryer. I have to wash it in the, I have to take it to the laundromat and put it in that big thing down there. Because I can't not wash it because, you know, I don't want her stinking it up. Because, you know, she's cool and all, but she's still a dog. And dogs get that smell. The beagle has a smell which, you know, if she hasn't had a bath for a while, it's uniquely the beagles. There she is. She's all happy now. She's over there. I poured the rest of that stuff into her food bowl. So she's cool. She's occupado. There we go. But yeah, if you guys are out there and you have not liked and subscribed, please like and subscribe. That would be fantastic. It really would be. So anyway, this might be about ready. They're looking fairly ready. Let's pull that little skillet out. I think the little skillet might be done, but they're still gonna have to sit. There's that one. Let's poke it. It's got a pretty color. I don't know if you guys can see it very well, but that's got a really, really pretty color. I mean, that looks good, but it's not pulled, and it is kind of pulling away. It is pulling away from there. Oop. It's pulling away really good. I'll give it another couple minutes in there and try and make it to where it doesn't fall. I'm just afraid I'm afraid it's gonna fall between the cracks of the grates. But yeah, that looks pretty good. That looks pretty darn good. And I'm here to answer any cast iron questions or anything like that folks may have. But yeah, that thing looks pretty good. I'm gonna give that another, let's give the whole thing like another 5 minutes, and then we'll pull it out. And that's what we'll do. This dog is making a huge mess. She's trying to get to all that liver. Can you see all the food behind her? The dog's freaking ridiculous, man. 100%. Let me go grab another beer. I'll be right back. Has anybody got the score of the game tonight? I haven't seen that yet. All right. And if anybody did not see the post that I put up in the community post section about the Dodgers winning the World Series in 7 games, the AI glitch, please go to my community page and check that out. That is some of the craziest stuff. If it ends up being tied at 3-3, I swear I'm gonna drop a dime on that whole thing. Let's see. I'd like to say she's loving it. Well, thank you, Jackie Fairclough. I'm sure she appreciates it when she's not over there just totally smashing on her food. She's definitely she's trying her best to get as much of that liver out of there as she possibly can. She will go back and eventually pick up that food, but probably here in a minute. And that's her 3rd bowl of food today, so she's not like starved. That's the 3rd bowl of food. Plus she's had bacon. She had half of an egg earlier. She's had so much stuff. She had like a half a piece of bread. The worst smelling dog is in the pulley. The worst smelling dog is in the, I don't know what the pulley is. I don't know what that is. Dinner chow, Scooby time. Yeah. Yeah. And it's about time for her. We've got this neighborhood cat. We were talking about him today in the earlier live stream. She's got this cat. There's a neighbor that lives about 4 doors down, and they have this huge cat. It's a striped cat. And he comes up, and he just goes to that patio door right there, and he just looks in. And it just makes her nuts. Because he knows that I'm not going to bother him. The cat doesn't cause any problems. It's actually a pretty chill cat. But this cat comes down there and just stands at the window and just knows that this dog can't get to it. I don't know if it's a boy or a girl cat, what it is, but it's the funniest cat. And he just kind of, kind of roams the neighborhood. He's got a collar on and stuff. He belongs to these people down there. And he just kind of roams the neighborhood doing cat stuff. He's pretty funny, actually. But we got about a minute to go, and then we'll be bringing these out. It's just, and they're just liver, Jackie. That's just liver. That's all it is. Because I asked him when I first started picking them up. I've had her about a year and a half. When I was down there getting her treats, because they have like real stuff. They have like real bones, like femur bones and stuff. And I said, hey, what's in these treats? And they're like, liver, dehydrated liver. That's all it is. And we throw it in the freezer so it keeps. So. But yeah, we're down to seconds here, so I'm sorry you guys are gonna have to stare at the trivets for just a second. But that's all I got left. That's all I got left. Unless you guys want to say it, I can always pull the camera around. You guys can watch me drink beer, which is what I'm doing. Let's see. Pulley is a breed with dreadlocks. Oh, okay. Very cool. Is that the one, if you're familiar with the band Bush, is that the dog that's on the cover of the very first Bush album? Is that what kind of dog that you're talking about? Because I think, if that is, then I know exactly what you're talking about. All right, let's take this stuff out. Let's start pulling things out and looking at it, because I know that little one's going to be done for absolutely certain. And so that's done. That actually looks pretty cool. I'm pretty happy with that. I don't know how long it was in there, maybe 10, 12 minutes. But yeah, there's that. And then let me grab another trivet and put that on the trivet off to the side, because the pumpkin bread is cracked. And when I did this before in the loaf pans, that's how I knew that it was done. Because like I said, I can't do the toothpick test on this. So I knew it was done. But that's that's pulling away. I mean, that's ready to, I mean, if you guys can see that, that's ready to, that's like spongy on the sides. So I think that one's all right. I think that one's cool. So far, what kind of beer goes with pumpkin bread? I would really suggest, well, like I said, my friend who was in here earlier, I don't know if Dan's still in here, but he brought some pans down for me to clean up for him, and the kind of beer that's going good with this tonight is the kind of beer he paid me with to clean his pans up, which is light beer. One of these. That's how I get. That's how you pay friends to clean up your cast iron in my world. So, yeah, light beer. You don't want a heavy. You don't want a heavy beer. Next week will be Guinness, because we are definitely going to be doing Shepherd's Pie next week, and we're doing. We're going to be doing the Guinness Stout recipe. So that will be what we're doing. I would say, I'm thinking, I'm going to check these out, but I think these are done. Now that was probably 35 minutes in one of these pans, and we'll see how that, if they're pulling away, I can't take them out. That's one thing, I cannot take them, like, they're not going to, this recipe, they're not just going to flop out like cornbread. These do have to cool, and I have to just make sure, I would say they're done though. But yeah, so that's where, we'll pull this back just a little bit. Let me get my stand is wanting to, stand keeps wanting to droop, or the thing that's holding my camera just keeps wanting to droop. And I don't know why that is. Usually this is a good stand. Just want to be droopy tonight. Strong's Adventure, what's up, buddy? Good to see you. That light beer is the right beer. Yeah, I try to stick with, if I'm going to drink domestic, which is about 50-50, I try to stick with Miller products as best I can. But I think these look really cool. Okay, if you guys can see them at all, sprawl you guys over top of that. They've got a neat look to them. And they smell, oh my gosh. For realsies, these smell like so good. They really do smell good. If it wasn't this late in the night, I would brew like coffee to go with this, but I have to sleep at some point. But they're really pulling away nicely. I'm gonna set the timer for 10 minutes and let those cool. I think we can get the other one out here in just a minute or two. But yeah, just to ogle that, man. I mean, these really look, I'm pretty stoked with how this looks. And I'm gonna be really, I'll put that up where you guys can see it a little bit, and I'm gonna turn the fan on here. But these look really cool. I'll be interested to see what they look like on the other. That was the big thing that I wanted to see, is how they looked on the other side, where the skull, where you actually have the skull part. I thought that was gonna, I think that's gonna be really like the big moment, as they say in the YouTube world. The I don't know what the other world is. I don't want to say what the other world is. The money shot. But yeah, look at that. Yeah, but I'm really surprised. I mean, I get surprised how much this skull pan does not hold. And I think we did that with something else. What was the thing we did with the cherries? Does anybody remember that thing we did with the cherries a while back? And we put cherries in there. And but that only held 4 cavities. So these things actually, they hold a lot more than you would think that they really do, for sure. The big reveal. Yeah, there you go. Thanks, GH. That's why you're a moderator. you're my guy. You come through when I need you. Yeah. But yeah, that's nice and spongy. I mean, I just really can't tell you how like great this smells. And they browned up on the top. They got like some crispy edges to this, but I really got to give them, you got to give them at least 10 to 15 minutes, or they're not going to pull right, especially with that cream cheese in there. But yeah, I think they look really good, actually. Alma, I'm really onto this. I think that's really cool. how they ended up looking. And like I said, I just could not use this pan tonight. But they're pulling, I mean, these are definitely done. Because they're pulling away. Super nice. I just don't want them to stick when I flip them over. But I will give them a little help with the, you know, the spatula. That little mini spatula that I have. We'll give it a little, we'll help it get out of there as best I can. Clean that off real quick. But I'll take that around the sides and help that out. But if you can see it, I mean, these are really, and that's how you kind of know that stuff's done, when it starts to pull away from the sides. And you get the crackle on the top. And that's really the cream cheese that came up to the top on that one. That really worked out. I'm just really worried about, I'm not really even worried about the sides coming off because it's pulling away so nicely. I'm just worried about the bottom. But yeah, there's definitely, and I dig these pans. These are some of the coolest pans that the Lodge has done in a while. I mean, as far as baking goes, I mean, I really like them. If anybody has a baking pan they like better than that, just throw it up in there. Throw it up in there because I can't think of a better baking pan that's more like super seasonal. I mean, they do have that one that's like the Christmas cookie style one, the real shallow one. And that's pretty, I don't have that one, but they are pretty cool. But, you know, as far as like a Halloween thing, and I mean, even the, you know, the Day of the Dead skillet, it's a cool design, but at the end of the day, you're not going to see anything on there unless you flip it over and make pancakes with the back, which you can do. But, I mean, these are pretty festive. And Lodge did a really good job on those. Just kind of digging. I'm kind of digging at it, helping it out. If I didn't think the fan, I'd throw it. If I wasn't on the live stream tonight, man, those look tasty. Thank you so much, Ronald. Dude, they do, and they smell fantastic. I wish I could just tear into it right now. Check out this one here in the back, because that one, I mean, this is just basically a little, you know, a little teeny. See if that one comes up. Oh, that one comes up. There we go. Yeah, that one came out. You guys can see that one. And that actually has, I don't know if you guys can see it very well on the camera, but it actually has the skillet, the dieter skillet design. It's hard to see because it's got the cheesecake in there. But that came out really nice. That came out really nice. I dig that. And it's got a great texture. It's like spongy kind of a deal. And it pulled, I'll show you guys here. I'll show everybody this. I mean, that pulled right out of there. There's no stick. There's no any of that stuff. Here, you can read it probably this way, because I don't have the mirror mode on my camera. There you go. The dieter skillet. That's what they call it. That's what Lodge calls that one. All right. So I'm getting a low, let me grab, I'm getting a low battery on my camera. So let me grab a extension and yeah, I have to try this recipe. The recipe, Patsy, when you get into like pumpkin bread is like the recipe is almost all the same. You can look up any recipe and they vary so little. That's pumpkin bread. That's a pumpkin bread recipe. It's really just the filling that's the thing that's different. But let me grab a cord so I can plug my camera in. Yeah, so let me plug this bad boy in here. If not, we're gonna lose juice. I'm at like 20%, and once on this camera, as soon as I hit 20%, I might as well be at 2%. So I'll plug this camera in. But like I said, I know there's been some. I know there's been some like lulls and things tonight, but I could not use this pan tonight on trick or treat on Halloween. There we go. All right. And we've only got about 2 more minutes to go over that. Get you guys over top of these a little better and get you a better, really good shot of these. Because that is, I'm super impressed how they came out in that pan. I really am. Happy birthday, William. Oh, we got a Halloween baby. Very cool. Very cool. My dad's side of the family, they're all born right at Christmas. Like my dad's birthday was the 26th. His brother's was the 27th. His sister, my aunt, she was born on the 28th, and my grandma was born on the 29th. I think holiday birthdays are so cool. So they all had, which a lot of my family, they all have like Christmas, December birthdays. One of my daughters has a December birthday. Yeah, these guys, I think they came out great, and I'm sorry that it's taking a minute, but like I said, I could not use this pan today, and the amounts were a little off, but like I said, normally I do this, when I've done this before, I do it in a loaf pan, but I had to use this pan today. Just had to happen. And I'm gonna taste this. I'm gonna taste the little dieter one. Oh, it's nice and warm. So we'll see what goes on with that. That's good. We have many December birthdays too. Yeah, they're really common in my family. And it's like I said, my dad and his brother and sister had those, and my grandma always had that one right in December. And then my grandpa's birthday was in August. So nobody ever remembered my grandpa's birthday, ever. Nobody ever remembered grandpa's birthday. Because mine's in the winter too. My sisters, they're all in the winter. You know. My mom has a holiday birthday, so hers was really easy to remember. But yeah, my grandpa was the one that was like, I believe it was August. Actually, no, it was August. So, yeah, I guess I know what's going on. Yeah, no kidding. Snowed in the country, boy. Springtime in the country. Let's see. All right, so that's been 10 minutes. I think we're going to try and not kick the camera over. And I'm going to attempt to take one of these out. Start taking these out. Oh, look at that. That one looks cool. I'll take that. I will definitely take that. I would definitely take that. Let me see here. Yeah, definitely take that. That looks pretty cool. Let me get a little plate out so we can. I'll get the wire rack out. I forgot to get that out. I'll get a wire rack out and we'll start plopping those over onto the rack. But that came out really nice. I'll put you guys over here a little bit better so you can see it up close and personal. Yeah, I think that came out pretty cool. So that one came out okay. So one down, and then let's try this one over here. Oh yeah, these are popping right out. We just need to give it a minute. So there's that one. I don't want to jostle them too much. There's that one. That one came out pretty good. Yeah, really spooky. Super spooky. But none of the, oh well. Yeah, that came out nice. So I'll take that. And then get you guys over here and see this one. If I can't get that one. These have a lot of, that cream cheese on these really kind of moved out. They're pretty soft, so They could have used another 5 minutes, but that came out really nice. I'm digging on that. Super digging that one. That one looks good. Oh, it's nice and spongy. And they smell so good. That's the other. They smell like cinnamon rolls. That's exactly what it smells like. They smell just like a cinnamon roll. So they popped out really well. So let's try the other one over here. Dogs can eat pumpkin. Yes, they can. I just don't know about the spice that's in there. I don't know if a dog can have like cinnamon. I think they can have a little bit of cinnamon, but I'm not sure about like ginger and clove. I don't know if they can have clove. I'm not sure about that one. I always look stuff up before I give it to the dog. And then there's this one. Ooh, boy, those are nice and tasty. Tasty looking. Smell good. That is so neat. Well, you'd be with coffee in the morning. I know, MAGA Mom. I know. That's exactly what I'm thinking. I am so thinking that. But I am going to cut one. I am going to cut one in half here in a second, and see how it all turns out. Because I got to see how that came out in the middle. When you do the bread, when you do the in a loaf pan, it doesn't ooze out or anything. It'll set really nice, and you'll be able to make like really nice slices with this recipe. But I'm not sure how it'll do when we make these little muffins. Here, bring you guys over here so you can see them up here. Or actually, even better, let me bring you guys back over to this, and I'll put that right here. Put the rack right there. We'll just let them kind of chill out on there, and I'll back it up. Shut up, Beagle. So there we go. There's our tonight's treat after I tricked everybody, and that's where we're at. So let me grab down a little plate. If I might have just a plate sitting out here. If not, I'll just grab a little plate out of the cupboard there, and we'll cut one of these in half and see how it does. And I think I'm gonna take this little juicy one right here on the end, or actually this one. I think I'm gonna take the one on the end there, and we'll cut that open and see how it does. See what it looks like on the inside. But yeah, like I said, these are best served cool. You can definitely have it, your pumpkin bread hot if that's the way you want it. But these are when I've had this before, I've done them, and they are definitely better cooled off. But we will look at the inside of that, guys. That's what I'm talking about right there. You got the bottom part, the skull, and you can see that the teeth came out and all that. And the inside, it's got that nice layer in there. Man, I am super happy with that. I am 100% happy with that. There we go. Yeah. And then you can see on the top, I mean, all the stuff, and here I'll bring it up since they're kind of cooled down, I can handle them a little better. But all the teeth and everything came out in those pans. I absolutely love these pans. If you want to spend $30 on something for the holidays, for like something that's really gonna go, there's the back up close. Man, these came out great. And I am gonna have just a little bit of that back piece. But I am so saving this for coffee in the morning. Man, even that is really good. Damn, that's good. It's not, in pumpkin bread, it's not overly sweet like a pumpkin pie, but that's got a really good sweetness to it. The stuff in the center, I mean, that just holds up. Yeah, that just really holds up really well. And I'm just totally digging on the inside of that. That looks super good. Thank you, Scotty. I appreciate it. I'm sitting here eating this. I didn't even check it out. It's only, well, it's actually, it's not only cream cheese. It's got sugar in it. It's got vanilla in there. We threw some pumpkin spice So yeah, it's not cheesecake, but it's definitely flavored, so it's not bitter. Yeah, that's really good. And it's going to actually be even better when it's cooled off. I know a lot of things are really good when they're um, when they're warm, but I think pumpkin bread. I think personally, pumpkin bread's really good when it's warm, not piping. I mean, if you guys can see the steam, there's steam coming off that, and it'll set up more. It'll cook a little bit more. It'll be a little more spongy. But yeah, that's awesome. And it, for the first time trying that with the way that came through in the middle. I mean, I really don't think it could have came out any better. I would have liked to seen more. I would have liked to maybe swirled it like I did with that little one, but I'm my own worst critic, so I'm always going to say stuff like that. But I love that, and these are heavy. I mean, that's a dessert. You know what I mean? There's like some weight to that. That's probably like 6 ounces of that's 6 ounces of deliciousness. I mean, imagine a whole bread and cream cheese in 4 pieces. So there's a lot to it. It's pretty thick. That is super good. Yeah, it's really good. So definitely jot that recipe down. Even if you're just going to make pumpkin bread, that's a great pumpkin bread recipe. And like I said, you're not going to get anything. You're not going to get a whole lot different with any pumpkin bread recipe unless you start getting into like almond flour, more gluten-free options, things like that. But there's only a cup of flour in that whole thing, 1 cup. So if you're going to try and do that in these, I would definitely double up the recipe to do it in the skull pans, and I'd leave the cream cheese alone. Maybe have some cream cheese on the backup just in case you needed to do it, but definitely double that up so you could do more. But that's overall, man. I'm digging on it. Dogs can eat cream cheese. Yeah, dogs can eat. This dog's eating that silly dog over there that's eyeballing me has eaten tons of cream cheese. But yeah, I'm gonna jump off here. I'm gonna let everybody go. We've way went past the usual hour and a half, but I damn well think this was worth it. And I appreciate everybody for showing up. And if you guys get the like button tonight and get this silly little channel out to more people, I would greatly appreciate it. But Magamom, thank you so much for showing up. Jackie Fairclough, I hope I'm saying your name right, Jackie. You've been in here all night. Greg Hart, thanks for moderating. Rick, thanks for moderating. Scotty from H-Town, thank you so much for being here. William Hurt, Ronald Coward, Billy Lee, thank you so much for being here. I love it when you're here. William Hurt, Pat Z. Yeah, William, thank you so much for being here. Fatty Meats, there he is. Bob the Builder. Man, I love it when you guys are here. Let's see, my dad has to have sweetener instead of sugar. Oh, I got you, Roger that. I would imagine you could do it. I know that you can use stevia in place of sugar. I do use stevia when I'm on sugar kicks. So I do use stevia instead of regular sugar. But yeah, love the live stream. Thank you so much, Scotty. I really appreciate you guys being here. And Patsy and everybody who was out there. Granny Graham, who was in here tonight. And just so many people. Radagast, Fuzz Fork 8. I mean, there's so many folks that I can't even list them all. It was so awesome of you guys to be here and hang out on this silly little cooking channel. Maple syrup or molasses, boy, that'd be good. A little drizzle. And I am Magamom. If you have watched this channel, you will know that I absolutely love molasses. I'm a molasses fiend. I love molasses. But yeah, there's ways you can get around. I would always go, and Jackie, I would look into the almond flour and other different types of flours that you could maybe pull it off with. Drizzle for shizzle. That's what I'm talking about, big dog. I can't believe I just did that. But anyway, yeah, man, I appreciate everybody for showing up, man. I had a great time. This was a great episode. I know we had some lag in it, but It didn't have the normal flow that we always have, but we're going to have the beagle over here, and I'm going to let the beagle have a little piece that I've got sitting here in my hand. I'm not going to give her too much. And even, oh, and I want to show you guys this. Even since we've been on here, look how much the sourdough starter has risen, even more. This might be my best one yet. So hopefully, when I do the bagels, I will do. I'm not going to do it through the whole thing, but I will go through the reveal if they turn out right, because I've never done it. But here we got the beagle one more time. She's got a little piece of. I got a little piece of the cake here for her, and she's going to give you guys a spin, and then we're going to get out of here. And there you go. All right. I will see you next time. All right. See you.